Shockingly, Miss Schabusiness was found guilty. Carlee Rusell is going to be charged. If a prosecutor says, "Can I give you my number?" well, you need to tell somebody immediately. SBF has his campaign finance charges dismissed. How convenient. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, everyone. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. Thanks for joining us. You know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, hit that little bell so that you receive notifications, and leave me a comment. And remember, if you can download us on any of your favorite podcasting apps. Let's go ahead and get straight to the docket today for July 27th, 2023. First on the docket, that's right, Miss Schabusiness found guilty. Can you believe it? Oh, my goodness. Yes, the Wisconsin woman was found guilty of killing and dismembering an ex-boyfriend and scattering his body parts, and then was seen laughing in court as jurors were shown new videos where she revealed how she played with various body parts in very graphic detail. Taylor Schabusiness gave a disturbing detail to the police during an interrogation video about choking her ex-boyfriend, Shad Theron, to death, and, well, frankly, how much she liked it. She also revealed that her lover's head was allegedly the first item removed. There were other things that she was cutting and sucking simultaneously, but, well, last time we talked about that, we got demonetized, so you get the picture. Anyway, Miss Schabusiness said in the video, "I liked it. I didn't know what to do." Well, anyway, the Brown County jury deliberated less than an hour before convicting Schabusiness of homicide, third-degree sexual abuse, and mutilating a corpse, going back to the February 22 killing of Mr. Theron. Now, guess what? The trial moves into a second phase to determine whether Miss Schabusiness suffers from a mental disease or defect, and whether she should be sent to a mental institution or go spend the rest of her life in prison. Now, authorities allege that Ms. Schabusiness strangled Theron at his Green Bay home he shared with his mother, sexually abused him, and dismembered his body, leaving parts of it throughout the house and in a vehicle. His mother found various severed parts in a bucket in the basement of the home, whereupon she promptly called the police. The Green Bay Police Department detective Graff testified that Schabusiness had allegedly confessed to cuddling with her former boyfriend's headless corpse after the killing. She went into a great deal how she had sexual contact with the body as well after her boyfriend was no longer with us. She described that she had various toys that she placed into his mouth as well, and that she cuddled his body. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. It was interesting. The prosecutor said in their closing, you just can't make this stuff up, really. I mean, it's just so weird. And the defense's argument was, hey, was this an accident? You know, I get it. It was an accident, and therefore we chopped everybody up. Yeah, not so much an accident. At least that's not what the jury believes. Anyway, we'll let you know where she's going to go spend the rest of her days. One could say she's got to be crazy to do what she did, or she's just a sick, demented person. Let me know in the comments what you think. Sick or demented? Let me know. We'll tally the votes and have them for you tomorrow. Next on the docket, Carlee Rusell is to be charged. Yes, she allegedly committed crimes, including lying to the police, theft, and then making a false report. Now, Miss Carlee Rusell's attorney, a guy by the name of Emery Anthony, said that he anticipates police are going to press charges against Ms. Rusell after she faked her own kidnapping. As you may recall, Rusell called 911 around 9:30 p.m. earlier in the month to report a toddler walking along Interstate 459 near Hoover. Minutes later, she reported the same information while on a call with her sister-in-law, adding that she would stop to see if she could in fact help. Well, unfortunately for her, that's right, those cameras, traffic camera footage, showed that Russell's car's hazards lights were in fact blinking, slow to a stop near the mile marker 11, and then the family reported her missing. "Are you okay?" But they heard no response, and then Rusell screamed. Days later, about 10:45 p.m., Rusell arrived at her parents' house. Police have no evidence of a toddler walking along the highway. No other calls of 911 reporting a toddler despite numerous vehicles passing through that area as depicted by the traffic camera surveillance video cameras. My gosh, those cameras are everywhere these days. Now, police say that Rusell claims she was kidnapped and forced into an 18-wheeler by a white man with orange hair, and maybe a woman was there as well. She claims she fled on foot, only to be captured again, blindfolded, and then put back into a car. Miss Rusell, do you need to go speak with Miss Schabusiness? I don't know. Anyway, Rusell admitted to making up the entire story and never saw the toddler wandering alone. And the attorney stated, my client has permitted me to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on July 13th of 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. And my client did not have any help in this incident. But this was a single act done by herself, her attorney stated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, she should be prosecuted. Should she go to prison? Probably not. Probably as a condition of any probation that she needs to get is some mental health counseling. Because, well, I get it. Everybody's a little bit crazy. But to try and get this kind of attention and going to this length to do it, that's the wrong way of doing it. Maybe she could have just been a really good nurse with what she was training to be. Somehow I don't think she's going to be able to pass those nursing boards background check and the screening process for good moral character based upon this little incident. Next, if your prosecutor asks for your number, you need to let somebody know. That's right. Prosecutor's not supposed to do this. Well, a former Wisconsin prosecutor by the name of Daniel Steffen has been sentenced to 18 months in prison for his recordings made between 2018 and 2020. In one of the recordings, Steffen is heard promising a woman he was prosecuting in a case to give her some leniency in exchange for sex. That's all according to the allegations filed against Steffen. Now, Steffen gave the woman his personal cell phone number, which he used to invite her over to his home, where they had sex several times, as well as doing work hours at the office. Now, the complaint states that while he secretly filmed women named as victim number one, Steffen stuck his tongue out, winked at the camera several times, and repeatedly asked the victim, "Who's in charge?" Mr. Steffen, please meet Ms. Schabusiness. You guys could ask, who's in charge? Anyway, the crimes date back to 2018 and 2020, and they were exposed after a witness told investigators that victim number one openly talked about having a sexual relationship with a Burnett County assistant district attorney in exchange for leniency in a criminal case. When questioned by investigators, victim number one, who was in court after violating a protection order against her child's father, initially denied having any relations with Mr. Steffen. She later admitted to it after she was told of the recording investigators had found on the district attorney's iPad. Well, Steffen's also secretly recorded another woman whom he had told could avoid charges for hitting a mailbox. Needless to say, probably not the crime of the century, but yet this district attorney convinced them that they needed to get to know their district attorney a little bit better. Well, needless to say, the judge was not impressed, and Judge Scott Norstrand handed down the former prosecutor's sentence. In addition to the prison time, Mr. Steffen will be ordered to serve 2 years of extended supervision, 4 years of probation, and placement for 10 years on the Wisconsin Sex Offender Registry. Good riddance. We don't need attorneys like this engaging in conduct like that, and we certainly don't need them to be prosecutors. Now, these were the two that came forward. Could you imagine how many more other victims there were? And remember when we talked about the judge engaging in a sexual relationship with a prosecutor the other day? That's right. This is even worse. The prosecutor having sex with a defendant? Wrong, so wrong. And Mr. Steffen, let me just tell you, you know who has even a worse time in prison than sex offenders, which you are? It's former prosecutors. Boy, I sure hope you were nice to all those other people as well that you sent to prison. Guess what? maybe for some sexual favors, they're going to make things a little easier for you at your new homestead. Got to think about the bigger picture, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the bigger picture. Anyway, Sam Bankman-Fried, that's right, the FTX co-founder, has been slapped with a gag order preventing him from speaking publicly about his trial that's coming up in October. Now, prosecutors argue to the judge that is going to hear the case that the former crypto billionaire was basically threatening his co-defendants in this particular case and witnesses against him. So they were back in Manhattan Courthouse Wednesday after allegedly trying to tamper with the testimony of the prosecutor's star witness, his ex-girlfriend and former business partner, Caroline Ellison. Prosecutors allege that he leaked intimate messages from Ellison to the New York Times to discredit her because she is expected to testify against him in his upcoming trial. The messages leaked from a 2022 Google Drive where Ellison journaled about her struggles as the CEO of Alameda Research, the hedge fund arm of FTX. She described being racked with self-doubt over her decision-making, with one message reading, "At the end of the day, I can't wait to go home and turn off my phone and have a drink and get away from it all." Now, I'm not exactly sure why he thought that would be particularly devastating to the witness. I can't imagine why old Sam Bankman-Fried would somehow think that was going to be devastating to Miss Ellison's testimony. Who doesn't want to do that at the end of the day, I guess? Let alone having doubt as being in charge. Gee, never had that, particularly in this particular case where Miss Ellison was completely unqualified for the job. Well, after hearing arguments at the bail hearing, U.S. District Court Judge Lewis Kaplan handed down a gag order, and it is set to weigh whether Mr. Bankman-Fried should spend the next several months in custody while waiting for his trial. Frankly, I'm a little surprised that anybody was going to give Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried a bond in this particular case. He has a $250 million personal recognizance bond. His promise to appear. That is unheard of. So maybe the judge should revoke his ability to communicate with anybody, and then it wouldn't be an issue at all. Just put him in custody. And I'll be honest with you, I've told you I don't like Sam Bankman-Fried. I think this guy is a punk. I think he's entitled, and I just don't like him. Thank goodness so I'm not his attorney. But let's just say there's something about this guy that just rubs me the wrong way. But at least I'm telling you that. I'm being honest with you, so you know where I'm coming from. Anyway, the old Sam Bankman-Fried has also had other issues while on bond. He cannot access the internet, and he can only have a flip phone, as they were concerned, they being the government, that he was manipulating other witnesses in this case. In other news, Sam Bankman-Fried, well, he got some good news. Because remember those first original 8 charges in which he was extradited back from the Bahamas? Well, those charges are being dismissed. The Department of Justice informed a federal judge late Wednesday afternoon that it did not intend to proceed with the campaign finance charges against old Sam Bankman-Fried because, well, is it maybe because he was a super donor to both parties? Yes, possibly. Anyway, the United States attorneys came up with a way out, and they said, well, after consulting with the Bahamians on the campaign finance charges in the Bankman-Fried original extradition document last year, we're behind the decision as part of an effort to adhere to their legal obligations. So basically, in December, the campaign finance violations charge was among the 8 counts presented in the DOJ's original indictment, which also include wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. But, like I said, they told the judge that the Bahamians did not include the 8th charge from the original indictment, a campaign finance violation, and therefore it would be in violation of their extradition treaty. The government has been informed that the Bahamians notified the United States earlier today that the Bahamas did not intend to extradite the defendant on the campaign contributions count. Accordingly, keeping up with all of our legal obligations with the Bahamians, the government does not intend to proceed to trial on the campaign contributions count. Well, how did that happen? We're going to extradite him for all these charges and then a little campaign fraud. Oh, we never would have let him go back if that were going to be the charge. Campaign contributions? Oh, because guess what you have to do when you present your case in chief to prove campaign contributions is you have to bring in the politicians to say that they accepted money from Sam Bankman-Fried. And then they also have to say that they didn't give it back, so all the bankrupt FTX depositors would get their money back. Whew. Thank goodness the Bahamians just absolutely missed that one little charge. There you go. There you go. There's no coincidence in politics, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the law. This is the law. We have to follow the law. That's it. It's not about politics. Please go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up for a background subscription service. You'll be happy you did. If there's anyone out there you were ever curious about what was in their background, now is the time to do it. If you're going to get involved with somebody, now is the time to do it. When you go to crimetalksearch.com, you put in the name, literally millions of public records are searched, and a report is generated. And it's going to give you a report. If they have multiple social media accounts, you're going to find it. If they have multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, it's going to be found. And more importantly, you're going to get information regarding criminal history. Hopefully the person you're searching has none whatsoever. But if it's there, it's going to be found. You're going to get everything you'd want to know, whether you're going into business or whether you're going into a personal relationship. You're going to be able to find out the information you want to know. So go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up today. You'll be happy you did. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal of the day, more food violence. A 72-year-old man has thrown bagels and a cup of coffee at a pair of Dunkin' Donut employees at an interstate service plaza, according to the Pennsylvania police. They were investigating the alleged thrower, Gurinder Singh, because he allegedly tossed the items at the 17-year-old boy and a 20-year-old woman working there. Singh was cited for harassment, and the police also state that Mr. Singh hails from Plainfield, Illinois. The report doesn't indicate if any of the bagels were harmed during the incident or what the disturbance was about. But doesn't everybody know? You don't order a bagel at Dunkin' Donuts, do you? Let me know. I thought it was you order the coffee and you order a donut, not a bagel. Anyway, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.